What is up, guys? Welcome to CJ's Vlogs and welcome to another video. Today we are in the C63 AMG Black Series. I cannot believe it. But first of all, thank you to Stationery Express for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out their links below. If you'd like more information on their product offering, be sure to contact me. You can DM me on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter. But yeah, big thanks to them. Today we will be driving this incredible machine. I've had the incredible opportunity to have the car for 2 days, and I tell you, it's a marvel to drive. Now, the Black Series is one of 800 in the entire world of this particular model. They have made the C63 and the SLS, but this is the C version. Tunnel. This is the C version. Let's go back into comfort. This is the C version of the car. So this essentially is a C63 stripped out a little bit. This is not spec'd with the track package. That's where they took the back seats out of the C63 coupe, put a little strut bar and put a huge wing on it. So this is sort of the more comfortable, if you could say, C63 Black Series. On that note of comfort, it isn't that comfortable because, as you can see, we're in comfort mode now. This road's not that bad, but we're bouncing around and the car is set up stiff and it's hardcore. You get that sense of hardcore when you sit in this car. When you start it up, 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8. Amazing to drive a naturally aspirated car, because most of the time I'm driving, you know, turbocharged cars for review. So like the Golf R, my car, the 488, Portofino, those are all turbocharged cars. And so turbocharged cars and naturally aspirated cars, you drive very differently. But this car just demands your attention, because if you know anything about Black Series, they are the hardest versions of AMG's ranges. So if you think about it, you get a C63, and then right now in the range you get a C63S. That's the current bi-turbo, and they may make a C63S Plus in the future, but Black Series has always been the highest, most hardcore versions. And so this is very much so, and this car evokes that character with the stiffness, with the engine, and the way the car is set up and the way it looks. When you look on the outside, it's got these mean carbon fiber canards on the front nose, and it's got a wider body kit and flared wheel arches, so that Mercedes did that, 1, to increase the aerodynamics, 2, to increase the aesthetic, and 3, so that they could fit much wider tires, because at the back you have 285 rear section tires, and they're mated to 19-inch wheels, and these 10-spoke wheels are truly beautiful. They show off the caliper so nicely, and the caliper itself, just everything about this car visually is just so attractive. You know, it sits taut, it sits wide. Now I'm in this lane and I'm almost, you know, close to the line on this side, but I can see in the rearview mirror that the car's almost fitting the whole lane. But that is just the way they've designed this car. It's designed with a track focus. Even when you look on the inside, there's a mix of leather and Alcantara. So on the steering wheel, you've got, you know, leather at the top, leather at the bottom, Alcantara handles. This noise, we'll get to the noise, but on the inside you sit taut in this bucket seat. and it's got Alcantara down the center. And Alcantara, if many people don't know, is actually a material that was designed for racing and is derived from race cars. So the reason for the Alcantara being put in the center here where you hold the wheel is so that you have that aggressive feel. But even when you're wearing gloves or when you're on track, you know, you'd never lose grip, because sweat and leather sometimes becomes a bit slippy. Alcantara, sticky. Here on the door handles where you touch is leather, but the door panels are Alcantara. The seats, the outer part of the seat is leather, but the inner is Alcantara, and when you drive it you can actually feel that Alcantara gripping you, as well as the gear knob. So all of that adds to the sporty, I shouldn't say sporty, I should say racy character of this car. And of course, the 7-speed gearbox is a delight. You know, you've got to understand that this car did come out in 2012, which is ages ago for technology in terms of automotive, as well as, you know, suspension, gearbox technology. Nowadays, in stuff like the AMG GTS, you've got an adaptive suspension, so you can sort of soften it up. But this is stiff all the time. Brakes are amazing. You know, you stamp on them and they hardly fade. So they are ventilated rotors, 390mm at the front. Both front and rear have 4 piston calipers, and when you look at them, they're these red meaty calipers with the black AMG writing, and all of these little trinkets just add to the flavor that makes it what it is. And to drive, I tell you, comfort mode is okay, because comfort mode, although it's not adapting the suspension because this car is permanently stiff, comfort mode sort of lightens up the wheel, you know, lightens up the parameters around the pedals, and that makes it sort of easier to drive than normal. But then when you go into a sport mode, because it has sport, sport plus and manual, completely wild. The engine becomes louder. It's flicking to sport. Can you hear that? The valves open. The gearbox wants to hold the revs more. So it's sort of like the normal sport configuration, but the biggest factor is that this car is like night and day when you're in sport. So when you think about sport modes, it usually enhances cars. With this car, it completely changes the character, and this car becomes purples. This car becomes this brutal, mean, wants to kill you machine, you know. It's got different modes. So I've enjoyed manual in this, because manual allows me to shift the gears when I want to, because sport kind of intervenes here and there. And then you've got sport handling mode, which is sort of a button you can press down here that switches the traction control like half off, so it allows you to slide just a little bit, but the car is really adjustable. I did not go traction control completely off, because I feel like that should be reserved for track or skid pan usage, because this car is mental. I remember first watching Jeremy Clarkson's review when the car came out, and that car was in a solar beam yellow, and it was crazy. He was just talking about how wild it is and how mad it is, and it's crazy. And he himself, Jeremy Clarkson, who I respect for his motoring opinion, used to own a CLK 63 Black Series, which was the car that was essentially the predecessor to this, and then the successor to this was the SLS AMG Black Series. Now, certain criticisms about this car is that some people say that it doesn't have the true Black Series feel. You know, the CLK 63 was wild and the SLS Black Series was wild, and based on the many AMGs I've had opportunity to drive, this is no different. And those shifts box for its time is actually very, very good. And you can really, you know, the pedals as well, you know, when you go into the gears, what I admire about Ferrari is the pedals. Because yeah, in my 235 it's got these little half metal pedals that you can plonk around on the steering wheel, and the Ferraris, they have metal or carbon fiber pedals. Even Porsches have good pedals mounted to the wheel, but this car's got these classic AMG thick pedals, and when you get into the gears you really got to, you know, press them and pull them, and it's just an experience. And that's exactly what this car is. It's an experience. I'm so grateful that I've been able to tick this car off my bucket list for drives. I've driven a CLK 63 Black Series, I've driven an SLS Black Series, and now I've had the opportunity to drive this. What a machine. I cannot believe how good it is. It's like it is a German muscle car. So think of it like this, is German people are polite, they are to the letter, and they are rather disciplined. I know, coming from a German background, that's how we are. This is not. This is not a polite car. It's not meant to be. It's a Black Series. Disciplined? No, because even in comfort mode, if you turn a corner and you get on the gas just a little bit, you start feeling a kick out. And in terms of to the letter, this breaks the status quo.